is Sam Pirozzolo and Bobby's on with Right Bites TV, and I promise this is going to be the last bite we give today. So what I really want to talk about was just recently here on Staten Island, it was election day. And what I kind of want to focus at, there seemed to be an anomaly on the race for public advocate between Michael O'Reilly, Polanco, J.C. Polanco, and Letitia James. And what I want to do is kind of compare for all of the candidates, at least the citywide candidates, how many votes they got on the Republican line versus the conservative line, and then I want to get into what happened for the public advocate. Okay?
Okay.
So, first of all, hats off to Nicole Malliotakis. She did a great race. She represented Staten Island. She did us proud. And Nicole, I'm sorry that you lost. And, you're a young person and probably have a very, very bright future.
Yeah, no, but Nicole did very well on Staten Island in particular. She got 65,000 votes on Staten Island. That's
Maybe we'll call her
feat.
Congresswoman someday soon.
Congresswoman or possibly borough president. She has enough people who voted for her to win the borough presidency.
Yeah. So let's get back into what I want to talk about. So if you look at how Nicole did on Staten Island in a citywide race, she got on the Republican Party line well over 50,000 votes.
Yeah, about 57,000.
Okay, 57,000. If you look at how Michael Faulkner did Nicole did about the 57,000 on the Republican line and between 7,000 and 8,000 on the conservative line.
Right, about 60.
And let's point out that there are only 4,000 registered voters in the Conservative Party.
Correct.
So for anybody to get more than 4,000 votes, people are leaving their party. They're leaving the Republican Party, they're leaving the Democratic Party, whatever it is that's there, and they're voting on the Conservative Party. Then you have Michael Faulkner, who did a little over 40,000 votes. So it's a high number for the citywide races. And Michael Faulkner on the Conservative line also pulled in about 8,000. If you look at Jimmy Otto, although it wasn't a citywide race, on Staten Island on the Republican line, did very, very well.
Right.
Had a tremendous number. But again, on the Conservative Party line, about 7,000 to 8,000, probably a little bit closer to 8,000.
Yeah.
If we look at Michael O'Reilly, who ran against J.C. Polanco on the Republican line, J.C. Polanco was on the Republican line, Mike O'Reilly ran on the conservative line, all of a sudden the votes on the Republican line plunged from high 58s to low 40s down to 30-some-odd thousand votes.
Yeah, about 32,000
32,000 votes. But what's very strange is that on the conservative line for candidate Mike O'Reilly, he pulled out 22,000 votes. That's almost as many votes as he got in his home district, of Queens. So I think that's an amazing thing that people might have gotten his name confused with Mike Reilly, who is a longtime Staten Islander, a former police lieutenant. He's a friend of mine. He's currently president of the CEC, the Staten Island School Board. And he's helped many, many people. He's got a Facebook page. He's always posting suggestions about traffic and about how to get things accomplished. Sure. And he's even been a guest on this show talking about the Verrazano Bridge toll. So it's my contention that 30,000, 20,000 people, 22,000 people left their party line to vote for Mike O'Reilly, thinking they were voting for Mike Reilly. And you could see on Facebook page that day, people were sending Mike Reilly, "Hey, Mike, I voted for you." Mm-hmm. So
it's certainly possible because, maybe you could say, maybe Michael O'Reilly spent a lot of money in the race and he had great name recognition. But the truth of the matter is that there were actually only 10 campaign donations to his entire citywide campaign, and 40% of them, 4 out of the 10, came from either the candidate himself or his campaign manager, which is not a knock on Mike O'Reilly. He's a great guy.
By far, it's not a knock on Mike O'Reilly. You're in a blue state.
It certainly wasn't because, he raised $1,700 total, including his own personal donations.
Right.
So it clearly wasn't that, that he spent a lot of money on the race and sent mailers to everybody's house and had a great get out the vote campaign. So there really does have to be another explanation.
I think that's a very plausible explanation. I don't think it can be denied, and I think that bodes very well for our Staten Island's Mike Reilly. He could also be a candidate for borough president. He's certainly very well known. He could be a candidate for city council. There are some people suggesting that he could be a candidate for a surrogate judge against Jimmy Otto, but as you've explained, that's really not necessarily possible because Mike is not an attorney.
Although he has spent more time in the courtroom than Jimmy Otto has.
That's probably possible.
Yeah, but that's
Mike gives testimony,
Sure.
for everything. And as far as being borough president, Jimmy Otto has already backed away from the fact, and he did it through the advance that he may not fulfill his entire 2 years.
Right, and that's no surprise.
Okay. So, Mike, next time we have you on the show, I'm going to try to pin you down a little bit there. I want to hear if you have any political aspirations. You have at least 22,000 people that are behind you, and that's certainly more than enough to win an election.
Yeah, and that's really not bad considering that the guy wasn't running.
Not even running. And what did you say the vote was in his home district?
In his home district, he got more votes on the conservative line in his home district than Nicole Malliotakis got in all of Staten Island. And again, that's not a knock on Nicole. Nicole did very well on the conservative line and in general in Staten Island. But for somebody to get 8,000 votes in one assembly district, I mean, that's really saying
that's
something.
Tremendous.
That's tremendous.
And I think that's proof of, the point that I'm bringing out. Is
there were only 1,000 conservatives in his district.
Right.
1,100, 1,200, whatever.
So basically, we're sitting here going, go Mike. Right?
Go Mike.
All right, this is Sam Pirozzolo with Bobby Zahn. This is our last Right Bite episode of the day. Thank you very much. And, as I've said before, if anybody would like to appear on a show or have any comments about our show, we can be reached on Facebook at rightbitestv.com. And within the next couple of weeks, we will finally be launching our own website, rightbitestv.com. So if there's anything you'd like to see or maybe make an appearance, reach out to us. Call Bobby. Thanks a lot. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.